Welcome to Cleveland, Arike Ogunbowale, former Notre Dame women's basketball player, national champion, and then 2020 WNBA scoring champion. Also, member of the Dallas Wings. So appreciate you coming on. We're in Cleveland, and we had to find some time to get you on the podcast. I was like, you not coming to Cleveland and not getting on the podcast. I mean, you've been in Cleveland for like a few hours, but like so far, like how's the environment been? What's the energy around Final Four like?
Yeah, you could tell everybody's excited. Even at the airport last night, I got here at like 12 a.m. Just a lot of fans coming in excited, wearing their team gear. So it's a good vibe right now. I'm excited to see, what happens this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Now coming back as, a spectator and, coming to these events now being in the WNBA, what's the difference, when you were actually playing in the Final Four and then now seeing it from this point of view?
Yeah, I think just as a player, you're not really doing a lot of the stuff that the city has to offer. Like you're doing with the team stuff, you're eating the team food, going to practices, the gym. Like you're not really out and about. So like being able to just see the fans and, what they're doing in the city and the type of activities that the city has to offer them. That, it's a weekend for games, but they're coming here and having a good time too. So I think it's dope.
Mm-hmm. I feel like for fans, like we see it as, like it's just a month long of basketball.
Yeah.
And so we don't really see it from the perspective of the actual athlete who might have to also go to class, have the stress of the whole university, whole fan base watching, even fans of, who are just tapping in for the first time. What's the stress like being able to play, the round of 32, the Sweet 16, then the Elite Eight, and then the Final Four, all in, this small amount of time? What's that stress like?
It's definitely stressful. I mean, universities make it a little easier for an athlete just because you have tutors and stuff, but not really, because there are some teachers who don't care about basketball, so they don't care about what you got going on. You could be in, the hardest game of your life, and you still got a paper that's due. So I think the fans see it, and they might get upset about this, and that, but they don't even know, like, what these athletes have to go through, and, that we still have deadlines. Like, we're still students, so we still have stuff to complete. And if it's after a game, we got to get back to school. We might have a test. Like, it just doesn't stop. Some teachers are lenient, but I've had teachers where, like, it's a game, yes, but you still have to, get your work done like everybody else. So it's definitely tough to navigate.
Was there one moment when you were, chasing the championship or y'all on your run where it was just like it might have got too tough to where it was like you maybe had to put basketball second? Or was basketball always first for you?
Yeah, once we got to the tournament, like even if the schooling was hard, like basketball was still in that tournament for sure. It was still priority. I mean, I tried not to slack on my stuff, and that's when tutors came into place and, use all the help that the school offers you, but basketball was definitely number one for me at the time.
Now, would you say, now even just growing up, I'm sure you played in a bunch of, AAU tournaments, big games, championship games. Where does that and also now in the WNBA, playing in some playoff games and things like that, now where does the Final Four sit for you?
I mean, for my younger career, that's definitely number one.
Yeah.
Like, just winning a national championship, I mean, in college, that's, as an athlete, that's everything you dream of. So,
Ogunbowale for the win. Good! Arike Ogunbowale wins the national championship for Notre Dame.
That's definitely number one. But, I don't think I've reached, where my highest point yet. So I still have a ways to go. But if I'm talking like, prior years up until about a couple years ago, that was probably my number one for sure.
Your national championship is very unique too.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough I went to the Final Four game. It was in Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to go to that one and I got to see the shot versus UConn.
Yeah.
Missed it. I didn't get to go to the game, the championship game, but obviously watched it on TV. Talk about just those two moments, because I don't think I saw it and then went crazy, but I don't think we've ever talked about it. And I'm sure you was on Ellen. You got to talk to Kobe after that. Like, your life probably changed after those shots. But, like, what was the work, prior to that, probably since you was a kid, that led up to that moment that gave you the confidence?
Yeah, I mean, it's just every day, like, just being in the gym. And I think people see, like, the glory hitting those shots, but it's just, like, there's plenty of times I missed. Like, people don't know the year before my sophomore year, it was Elite Eight. We were playing against Stanford to go to the championship, and we had the ball. We might have been down one or something. I don't remember. But I shot the last second shot and missed it. And, I mean, Stanford went to the Final Four, and we didn't. So a lot of people don't know that. So it's like just being able to have the confidence to continue, to be able to take that shot. And that doesn't come with, like, being prepared, but your coaches and your teammates have to trust you. So they, they want the ball in my hand at the end of the game. And I think I've built that reputation where they let the ball be in my hands. But it's definitely like that. The moment people see, they don't see, you know, all the bads
Right.
and all the hard work that goes into just that couple seconds, you know.
What was it like when you hit the shot, the first game, the Final Four game?
Yeah, I mean, it was wild. I mean, I don't know, like, it was really kind of hard to explain, especially at the time, but it was just, first of all, in my career, we haven't beat UConn yet. So my junior year, that was our first time beating UConn. We always played them in December, the Dickie V Challenge, and we lost my first 2 years. So that was our fourth time playing them, because we played them in December my third year. So beating them, that was definitely amazing. But I mean, just going to the championship, like, just winning that, like, it was just crazy, honestly.
I definitely want to talk about, now, obviously you were a scorer. I mentioned you were a scoring champion in the WNBA in 2020, but now you see, you know, the rise of Caitlin Clark and just what she's been able to do this year, and just, you know, shooting from the logo, and, you know, even being able to get to the hole too. I think a lot of people sleep on that part of her game, but you being a scorer and just going to see her, and now seeing the way she operate, like, what's something that's really unique about her game?
Yeah, I mean, she's just fearless. I feel like, you know, she's coming in and pulling up, and, you know, at Iowa, she has the green light, and she takes full advantage of that. But she's an amazing player. You know, any player that can create their own shot, they're going to be good, especially as a pro. So she's definitely, you know, been, you know, a pioneer. We'll look back and be like, she was definitely a pioneer for women's sports and women's basketball, and just, you know, the kind of traction that she's bringing to the game. And, you know, she's delivering every time somebody comes to watch. She'll have 30, 40. So she's definitely, you know, doing her job and, you know, excelling our game. And she's fun to watch for sure.
Did Muffet didn't give you the green light?
I end up getting the green light towards junior, senior year. Not right away, though, for sure.
Yeah, nah, because, I mean, y'all had some, I feel like when we was there, it was a lot of
I mean, my
talent
whole starting five, we
Yeah.
got drafted. So that was the first time ever. So we definitely had a lot of, you know, star power around.
And then now, even, you know, from you leaving and then Coach, you know, Ivy taking over, who I think she's doing a great job. I love where the team is at this year. I'm very excited for what's to come in the future for the team. What were some of your thoughts, you know, on their season, and then maybe some thoughts on the upcoming season?
Yeah, they've done amazing. Like, since we graduated, the way Neil is, they kind of had to start over. Like I said, all 5 starters got drafted, so she definitely had to kind of rebuild a little bit, but she's done an amazing job, and they're just going to be good for years to come, especially with her. She's was able to be mentored by one of the best coaches to ever coach the game, Coach McGraw. So her having that type of history and knowing basketball, you know, she knows basketball, and she's a great person, just a great person in general, somebody to lead a team. So they'll definitely get a championship in her career. I don't know when it's going to come, but I know it's going to come.
Do you think NIL plays a factor in decisions for, you know, young female athletes when they also going to college, but also leaving the college to go to the WNBA?
I think now it does. I mean, because especially the WNBA is very hard to make. There's only 144 spots. Well, there will be more next year because we're adding another team, but that's only adding 12 more spots. So whatever that math is, what is that, 156 or something? I hope I did that right.
Notre Dame degree right there. 144 plus 12. There it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did that kind of quick too.
Hey, I see it. That Mendoza degree.
No, so it's not a lot of spots. So I can see players that people might think, okay, after 4 years they go into the draft, but it's no guarantee. Like, even players that have getting drafted first 12 aren't on the team. Like, it's hard to stick because there's so many great players and not a lot of spots. So I think that plays a factor in its own. But obviously NIL, like, if you staying in college long enough, it's hard to get brands too as a professional athlete too. Like it's only a select few that have a lot. Like, everybody pretty much gets stuff, but like a Nike, like a shoe deal or something. Not every player has that. Like, I've been blessed to have a lot of things, but it's like not every player has that. So if you're getting, you know, you're getting fed, first of all, you ain't got to pay for nothing in college. Like, you're getting NIL from hometown people who love you. Like, I might stay too, honestly. Like, if it's like you might not get all of that once you get pro. So I think NIL is definitely making a, you know, big impact on college players. I
do want to touch on that point where you said, you know, it is limited spaces in the league. Because I was looking at it was Alexis, what was her, the guard from LSU last year.
Yeah, Morris.
I thought she was really good, and I don't think she ended up making the team. But obviously a national champion, but also a key player on that team, and like was a bucket. And so, talking about the growth of women's sports, like I see it in college, and I see like the visibility and the recognition, like more viewership. But you talk about the limited spots available. You know, how can you fix that problem? Or I don't even know the question I want to ask, but like, how do we fix that issue,
I guess it's more teams. Like, it's tough. I mean, it's just not a lot of spots, period.
Yeah.
Like, NBA, what do they have, 15 man? I don't even know what their roster is, but ours is 12. Like, 12 is the max. So
12 and how many teams?
12 teams right now. So it's 144 spots,
Yeah.
period. And obviously there's a lot of women in college basketball wanting to get there, and that's just not possible. Like, so think of making the NBA and think of even smaller margin. Like, and it's already really, really hard to make the NBA. So it's just tough. Like, that's kind of hard to change regardless. Like, adding more teams, yes, but still, there's only so many spots.
I got a little theory. How about we break up some of these power teams? Because I was looking at, you may not be able to speak on this, but I was looking at some of the rosters. I was looking at the All-Star game not too long ago, and like the All-Star teams are made up of like
2, 3,
6
4 teams.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, that's the issue right there. It's like like Vegas got like 4 players on the All-Star.
Yeah.
Y'all had like 2 or 3.
Yeah, we had 2.
So it's like, I think you obviously adding more teams and then being able to split up some of these power teams, I think would bring a lot, obviously more competition to the sport, but I think it'd just, allow more opportunity. So put me in touch with y'all commissioner, and I think I got a theory or something that can make it happen.
I enjoy a super team because I enjoy competing against those players.
That's fun, yeah.
Yeah,
that might be fun.
Breaking up a super team. I don't think it's gonna get more players on the team. I think
if you break it up, you break up the like I'm Aces is who I'm talking about, but you and the Liberty, you break them up. You take like 2, put them on a different team, 3, put them on a different team. And then now you fill those teams, but obviously you got to create new teams, but you fill those teams with more college players or whatever. Now those teams aren't starting at last in the league.
Yeah.
They're going to have some veterans. They're going to be, they're going to be good. You feel me?
I feel you. I don't know if I'm in support, but I feel you.
Y'all team straight. Y'all team straight.
I understand
Y'all team straight. Until y'all become a super team, and then we're gonna talk about breaking y'all up. But I think the WNBA, and I think women's college basketball has been something that I've been watching, and I feel like also going to Notre Dame since Skylar was there. There's always been a sport that I've watched.
Right.
But coming from Notre Dame and then going into the WNBA, how did Notre Dame basketball prepare you for your WNBA career?
Yeah. Well, I just feel like having the coaching staff I had, they just got my mental right. Like. And obviously basketball, like I said, Hall of Fame coach, and with Muffet, Neil was great, Beth was great, CO was great, but like just off the court stuff too. I think that like a lot of Notre Dame players, like we have a good, business side to us off the court because we were prepared for that, and that's from schooling too. Like I said, we went to the business school at Mendoza, which was always a top 10 business school in the country. So it's just like I learned a lot outside of the court that prepares me to be like a whole athlete in general, from on the court to off the court to just everything type thing. So I think Notre Dame definitely prepared me for all aspects of being a professional athlete, not just on the court.
Mm-hmm. And definitely, obviously, we off the court right now doing some media, brand stuff. But what would you say to a college athlete that's coming into the WNBA, where you said brand deals are a little harder? Where if they were in college, they got the NIL, they got the local, regional companies, putting money into their pockets and all those different things. What's something that you would say to a player leaving college going into the WNBA to try to keep some of those brand deals and off the court deals going?
Yeah, I mean, relationship is the most important thing for anything. So if you build, a strong relationship with whatever you have going on in your city, they're going to follow you. Like if they like how you are, if you're a great person, if you're easy to work with, they're going to follow you. So I think people kind of get it wrong, especially with the women's players. They're like, oh, well, she's going to go to the WNBA and make less money. No, like a deal is a deal. Like Caitlin signed with Nike. Nike's not leaving her because she's going to the WNBA. It's following her. Angel signed with Puma or Reebok, whatever it is. It's following her. So it's going to follow you if you have a good relationship with them. Like, it's not just stopping. So I think people got to get that out of their mind. Like, oh, this is going to go away. Like, if they like you, if they, are behind what you are, then they're going to keep following you and the money's going to keep flowing in.
How's that Dallas market?
It's pretty good. Yeah. I enjoy Dallas. Yeah.
I seen you on the State Farm with Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
He a good dude?
Yeah, he's cool people. Sure. He's cool.
Yeah. I also want to talk about, just your hometown, your upbringing. Milwaukee, right?
Yep.
So you got to love Cleveland if you're from Milwaukee.
Yeah, I love the Midwest. Anywhere in the Midwest, I'm a fan.
But, talk about that a little bit. Viewers might not know, but your brother is in the NFL, so you come from, an athlete family. And I feel like you both obviously made it to the highest level. So there is, a sense of excellence, around the household. But talk about just your upbringing and just, maybe some of the stuff back then that's kind of shaped who you are today.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and my brother are both professional athletes, but our paths were different. But first of all, like, there was never our plan to be a professional athlete. My dad's Nigerian, so academics was the most important thing, and my mom's a teacher, so they both, like, it was school, and we worked really, really hard. Like, they trained us as if, like, I don't know, we worked really, really hard just to be the best at the time. We were never thinking of being pros, so just having that upbringing, just being competitive everywhere definitely shaped me for this. But you know, I was always a top athlete, but my brother, like, he went to college, he was a walk-on, like, he had to get a scholarship, he didn't get drafted, and he's been in the league for like 6-7 years. So definitely just seeing him and how he had to grind to get where he is, and just how we grew up just grinding to get everything that we have, and not really focusing on, the goal, just in right now being the best. I think that really helped shape, who I am right now as an athlete and a person.
Who won in the one-on-one matchup on the court?
Me and my brother?
Yeah.
Oh, me, for sure.
He
used to beat me.
I was gonna say, was he good at all?
He used to beat me. Yeah. He used to beat me, but I got him now by far.
When did you get into hoop, or when did you get into hooping? But then also, when did you know I could go somewhere with this game?
Yeah, I started hooping early. Like, I remember I was on my mom's 4th and 5th grade team in 1st grade. I wasn't that good, but once it got 3rd, 4th grade, I was pretty good for my age. So I knew early I was pretty good, but I knew it was gonna be a career once I got to college. And like
college.
Yeah. Like, I was getting scholarships 7th grade. Like, I knew I was gonna be really good, but I really wasn't thinking about the WNBA in high school. Like, I just was thinking about college. Like, I wanted to go to college, play basketball, but then once I got to college, I was like, okay, the next step after I graduate is gonna be professional.
I was about to say, because you was a bucket in college.
Yeah,
so
once I got to college, I was like, my next step is there.
I remember. I don't know if it was freshman summer or sophomore summer, but like it was you, Marina, and we would all, and like some of the football guys, we would just go to Ross or whatever, and we'd play.
Hooping,
and like I had to strap up. I ain't gonna hold you. I thought we was gonna go out there, get on
Between Brandon and Micah, they thought they was so cold.
Man, nah. Micah swear he got the coldest mid-range, bro.
He just texted the other day asking me some goofy stuff about basketball. I'm like, I seen him when I was in Minnesota. I got him some tickets, but it's cool people.
But also I want to talk about do you do any community work out in Milwaukee or also in Dallas? And then if you do, just talk about some of the stuff that you've been able to do to impact your community and your hometown.
Well, I have camps. Like, I just had a camp in Texas recently, and then I had one in November, and then I have one in Milwaukee actually in 2 weeks or a week or something. But this is my 2nd year doing it there. So I just try to give back to the community however I can. This summer, I'm going to do a lot with the youth in Dallas. I'm signed with Red Bull, so last year, every 3 I made, they donated money. So we donated $50,000 to like some lights in a park so they can be lit at night for people to play basketball. So I just try to get involved with the community. It's always good to have somebody pouring back into the youth. So it's been really dope. Yeah.
I know Red Bull probably sitting there like, it was one game where you went crazy from 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I know the Red Bull was probably sitting there like, man, you better go to the hole, go to the cup. So now we got the WNBA season coming up. How have you been preparing for that, and just how are you excited for that?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Going into my 6th year, we just made semifinals last year for the first time, so that's a good stepping stone to build off of. But I'm excited. We got most of the team back. It's pretty much the same, and everybody's hungry, so I'm really excited. We tip off middle of May 14th, May 15th or something, and it's gonna be a big year. I mean, we got new college players coming in that people like to watch. We got, a lot of great players already in the league that people are probably going to see now that we're getting a little bit more attention. But I think this WNBA season is probably going to be one of the best that they've had, so I'm super excited.
If there was one guest that you would like to see on Varsity House,
one guest,
but you have to help get them on.
I'm going to keep it Notre Dame, so I'm going to say Pat. He played for the Bucks, hometown.
Okay.
He's doing well over there. It's a big piece for the Bucks. I say the Bucks.
Okay.
The Notre Dame family. Say Pat. Yeah.
Bad. All right, Pat.
Yeah.
We're going to be reaching out to you now. I'm going to reach out to you first, Pat. I'm going to reach out to you first. And then, if you don't get back to me, we gonna ask for the assist. Yeah. But no, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Sure. I know it was a tight schedule, but we got you here safe.
Yeah, no, this was dope.
Shout out Terry. What is it? 21 Luxury LLC for the trip down to to the airport.
Yeah.
Arike Ogunbowale, appreciate you coming on to Varsity House Podcast. Can't thank you enough.
No, I appreciate you.